live, and let's just refresh page here. And see if we can get on. Taking its time to come through on my phone. I want to have a look on my phone because I want to see your comments. So just bear with me a second. Because this is nothing without you guys, and I want to make sure that I've got you all on here. Here we go. Okay, so who we got? Let's have a look. Goodness me, what a lot of comments to catch up on already. So Melanie, good to see you again. Minnie, Ursula, Sheila, Kelly, Jeff, Maisha, Carol, Michael, good to see you. Janet, Carmelita, Keith, and Sue so far. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And a very, very good evening and late good night or early morning to you guys who are over on the other side of the planet. It is 10 a.m. Eastern time. It is 3 p.m. UK time, probably around midnight with you, Melanie, I would have thought, in Australia. So great to have you all with us. Let's dive in to today's topic, because we're going to talk today about something that I feel is critical, and something that actually Dave is going to be talking about today as well in the daily email that you're going to be getting. We're going to be talking about reinventing yourself. And I've got quite a bit that I want to cover with you today on that subject of reinventing yourself. I'm going to talk, just going to pop my phone here on my laptop just a second so I can actually see the comments as they come through. So Kevin, good afternoon. Jennifer, good to have you. And Hemanth, good to have you. So let's dive in. We're going to talk about 7 ways or 7 kind of tips in terms of reinventing yourself. But then what is reinventing yourself? You know, we're not talking about just polishing yourself, improving yourself, making things a little bit better. I'm talking about pressing the reset button here. A reinvention that actually changes everything. So that would mean a complete overhaul in what you believe, how you do things, how you operate your business. If you're struggling and you're up for that, then this is a great way to kind of wipe the slate clean of everything that's happened in the past and think, okay, done with that, let's start afresh. And it all starts with 4 little words. Do work that matters. Do work that matters. You've chosen to work with us here, haven't you? You've chosen to work with Legendary. You've chosen to build a digital freelance business using the internet. Think about that. That alone gives you massive leverage, massive leverage. That's the kind of leverage that can really make a difference. You can leverage to spread your ideas, leverage to have an impact. People these days have far more leverage, more chances to change situations, to change people, to change the world than any other time in history. What are you going to do about that? When are you going to start? Do you realize what you've got at your fingertips right now? This is much bigger than you even know. It really is. So what are these 7 things that will enable you to press that reset button and reinvent yourself? Number one, connect. You've got to be able to connect. And when we think of connecting with people, probably, I guess, social media is the main one, isn't it? You know, but that it is a bit of an animal all by itself. Social media is either a time-sucking, dust-gathering waste of effort, or maybe, if we were to look at that in a different way, maybe, just maybe, it's that crack in the wall between you and the rest of the world. That's a choice. And that choice clearly is up to you, isn't it? If all you're using, quite frankly, if all you're using social media for is just to keep score of how many followers you've got, how many friends you've got, how many likes and comments you're getting, how big your footprint is online, then you're measuring it all wrong. And you're probably distracting yourself from what really, really matters in your business if you're using social media to try and connect with people. On the other hand, social media can offer you a chance to make real connections with people. You can earn permission, you can gain insights from people that you would have never had the chance to interact with any other way. And that's people on a global scale. If you can reach those people, and I guess far more importantly, if you can touch and change people, then that will help you to gain influence in your marketplace and authority. And influence and authority, they are two massive things that we talk about in terms of being successful in marketing. Being able to influence people, having authority in your marketplace. Social media can allow you to do that if you connect in the right way. But the typical individual, I guess, years ago wouldn't have ever had the time or I guess even the money to make those kind of connections or even be heard, a few years ago. Today, we've got a wide open door, haven't we? People can truly connect, they can truly influence and touch and have an impact on other people. When we grew up, I guess the interactions that we had were in a pretty small circle, if you think about it. It would have been family, your family circle, maybe co-workers, and that would have been it. But now we can actually, if we do it in the right way, we can actually earn the right to interact with just about anybody on the planet. Now, to me, that's a game changer. I think that changes everything, don't you? But only if we let it, only if we use it in the right way. So that's the first thing, connection. Get connected in the right way and use the tools that we have to connect with people in the right way. Second one is to be generous. All right, be generous. And what I mean by this is that being in the online space with the business that we're running and what you're trying to do here often involves trading things that don't actually cost money to begin with. Think about that. There's no financial cost in you writing a blog that people can read. There's no financial cost in you shooting a video or putting up a tweet or anything like that. And since it doesn't cost money to actually get involved and play with this, we've got the ability to actually give before we receive, to give before we get. But most people won't do this. Maybe you're not doing this. Maybe you're only thinking about money. I need to make money with this business. If that's all you're thinking about, then again, you're doing this wrong. You're approaching this from the wrong angle. Generosity isn't about if I give you this, you give me that. It's not tit for tat. It's about individuals supporting one another. That's what it's about. If you can build a group, build a following of other individuals, talented people who are on the same wavelength as you, who have the same goals as you, who are connected, like we've mentioned, who trust and support one another, you're in a position to create a real movement and to deliver value, to move your ideas, your products, your services forward faster than any one person could ever do. And let me give you an example of that. Have you ever heard of a company called CD Baby? cdbaby.com. I know that we're going back a few years into the era of the CD, and now everything's all digital with downloads, Netflix, and all the rest of it, and streaming sites for music. But back in the day, a guy called Derek Sievers built CD Baby from a bedroom startup in his house to a multi-million-dollar company selling independent music. How did he do that? because at the height of when he was doing that, he was actually selling more music from more artists than anybody has ever done in history. Do you know what his secret was? He spent virtually all of his time supporting the artists. The software that he used and developed, the posts that he would write, the systems that he put into place, they were all gifts, if you like, expressions of his generosity, contributions from Derek to the artists that he was working with. And in return, the artists built this thriving community online, one that basically couldn't help but turn into a profit for him. So generosity is the second. Be prepared to give without wanting or expecting to receive to begin with. The third element is to be creative. Be artful, be creative. Being able to create things, or I guess as the generalized term for that would be art, wouldn't it? That's a gift, you know, that's a real gift. Humans who have that gift have the ability to make a real difference. People are touched by art, people are touched by creativity, aren't they? But art isn't necessarily just a painting or a poem or something of that nature. You know, we kind of pigeonhole art, don't we? But I'm talking about creation, content creation, being creative in what you're doing. If you're interacting with others, you've got a platform as powerful as the internet to do that, then creating something new, being able to create something that changes the way a person thinks, the way a person feels, that's art. Leveraging the internet to do that, you can connect with humans on a real personal level, but you can do that en masse, which we've never been able to do before. You can do it en masse with the content that you create because you have a global marketplace. So make sure that you be creative. Don't be a copycat. Don't copy paste stuff and think that's enough. It's not. You've got to be creative in what you do. And with anything like that, you know, art, I guess if you look at a piece of modern art, it feels risky, doesn't it? It feels risky because it is. The risk an artist takes, or I guess in your case, the risk that you take in the content that you're creating is that your audience might not like it. They might not be touched by that, might even laugh or judge your efforts. But risk leads to reward as well. You've got to remember that. And this leads me on to the fourth element that I wanted to talk about. And this is to do with your brain. Risk equals reward. But if you're worried about that risk, i.e. you're worried about people laughing at you, judging you, that is the lizard brain within you. Be aware of that. Ever heard of that phrase, the lizard brain? Be aware of the lizard brain. Maybe that cringe that you just felt when I said that all people might laugh at you or judge you for the content that you put out, that's your lizard brain kicking in. It's something that all of us battle with every single day. I battle with it, and I'm sure you do too. The lizard brain, it doesn't like being laughed at, doesn't like being judged. It's part of our brain that worries about safety and then will quite easily dish out anger as well, if that makes sense. Being laughed at, in other words, I guess, is the lizard brain's worst nightmare. So it shuts down that creativity. And when that shutdown happens, when that resistance kicks in, it's that little voice in your head that says, I'm not good enough. Why should anybody listen to me online? I'm not cut out to be a successful entrepreneur. Is any of this making sense, guys? Give me some feedback in the comments, because we've only got a few minutes left. Just give me some feedback if this is making sense. That lizard brain shuts down your creativity. And when you get that fearful feeling and that little voice in your head that says, I'm just not good enough for this, I can't do this, and you start comparing yourself with other people and maybe their content's better than my content, they have more authority than I do, why should anybody listen to me over and above somebody else, I'm really not cut out for this. Ever heard those voices in your head? Kelly says yes. Jeff, your own creativity sets you apart from others who are saying the same thing. You're absolutely right, Jeff. So it's important that if your lizard brain, if you think about that, if that's what's going to cripple you from being creative and original and having impactful content on other people, then you need to deal with that. The only way you can deal with that really is through awareness, I guess. You know, you can't remove that part of your brain. It's there. It's part of our anatomy. So the only way that we can deal with that is awareness. Acknowledge that voice that you sometimes hear in the back of your head, that feeling in the pit of your stomach and in your heart. Recognize that it's there. That's all you can do. And then we stand up, we step up to the plate, we do the work anyway. We do the work anyway. We acknowledge that that lizard brain is there, but then we ignore it. Okay, fifth thing that I want to talk to you about is execute and deliver. Executing and delivering on the content that you create. Think about this. Scarcity, it creates value in any marketplace, doesn't it? People will pay extra for things that are hard to get hold of. While if there's a surplus of something in the marketplace, that tends to go cheaply, right? That's basic economics, isn't it? So what's scarce? Is it the products? Well, no, not in this case, it's not. What's scarce here is your ability to deliver the goods. It's your ability to deliver the goods. If you can get something out of the door while your competitors are cringing in fear with their lizard brain, you win. If you're the guy who makes things happen at work at the moment, you're the indispensable one. If you and your organization or your business are the only ones that can get things done, close the sale, deliver the goods, make that difference, then you're the linchpins. You're the ones that society can't live without. Does that make sense? Delivering is the key here, but it's difficult because of that lizard brain. Your brain doesn't want you to deliver, because if you do, you might fail. And if you deliver, people might laugh at you. If you deliver, you might be held accountable for the decisions that you've made. If you deliver, people might judge you. So one of the primary elements to reinvention of who you are, who we are, is someone who executes and someone who delivers. You can have all these things in mind. You can talk about all these things all day long. You can create content all day long. But if you don't deliver that content into your marketplace, where's the impact? But then a key part to that as well, in terms of executing and delivering, is going to be that you need to have the ability to fail. And that's number 6, failure. Okay, reinventing yourself, I guess, demands that you fail, and that you fail often, over and over and over again, with or without grace. You've got to be able to fail. The old economy that businesses and companies were built on was based on factories, wasn't it? Factories, institutions, things that took a long time to build, physical product that took a long time to create and build. Nobody back then was interested in failure. Took too long to create those things and those institutions for them to think about the idea of growing through failure. But today, the only way that organizations grow is to deliver new, unique, risky things, to create change, to make art, to change people, and yet delivering risks failure. So they have to be able to deliver the goods, fail, and grow from that. But how do you grow from that? How do you grow from failure? Well, this brings me on to the last point, and this is what we're going to wrap up on. Point number 7 is that you need to be able to learn. That's the key. That is the key to the other 6 things that we've spoken about. School used to exist, I guess, so that people could learn a trade. You know, you do an apprenticeship, work the rest of your life in the same job, same town, same factory, same place, doing the same work. Sound familiar? Well, if you think that applies now, you're wrong. You bring that mindset into your business today and you'll fail. School hasn't finished. You haven't done your schooling and now you're in business. School is now. School is right now. That consists of you building sales funnels, writing content, shooting videos, lead generation, copywriting, testing ads, testing traffic sources, and knowing that you are going to fail when you deliver. The question is, will you learn from those experiments, those experiences, and then deliver again? Now, think about it. You've already taken the first step. You're here. You're here with Legendary right now. You did something that challenged you to think and act differently. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be here. So that path of reinvention is just that. It's a path. You've started on that path, but now you've got to walk it. Okay. The opportunity that you've got right here, right now, is to press that reset button, discard what you think you know, and instead learn what you need to learn. And to be able to do that consistently every single day that you're here with us. So I hope that that's giving you some food for thought today about why it's important to be able to press that reset button, to be able to reinvent yourself, and how important it is to think about that as well. So connection was the first one, if you remember. Being generous as well, not tit for tat. Don't feel that you are giving just so that you can get. Give value, and things will be reciprocated if you do things in the right way. The third thing was to be creative, be artful, start creating content. There are two people in the online space. There are creators and there are consumers. Guess what? It's not the consumers that are making the money. It's the creators. So get artful, get creative. Be aware of your lizard brain was the fourth one. Be aware of those fears. Acknowledge them, be aware of them, then ignore them and do the work anyway. Number 5 was execute and deliver. So make sure that you deliver on what you've created. Be prepared for number 6, be prepared to fail. And then the last one, learn from those failures. Learn, keep learning, keep on that path, and keep thriving. So appreciate you all being here. Thank you for spending some time with me today on that subject. Dave is going to talk about that in more detail on our daily video. So you'll get that through email, where Dave is also going to talk about how reinventing yourself is an essential part of marketing. And hopefully you've seen from what we've spoken about today why that is an essential part of you learning to grow as an entrepreneur. And if you grow as an entrepreneur, your business will grow with you. So thanks for your time. I will see you all next Thursday. Have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.